Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I am Randy with Beyond Limits of Palm Beach Mobile Detailing. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys on how to go about pricing your detailing services and your detailing business. So without further ado, let's jump into it.
Don't not get strained but straightening. Don't not get strained but straightening. Don't not get strained but straightening. You don't get shit straight, you don't straighten it.
When you are starting a detailing business, one of the most difficult things to figure out is how to properly charge for your services. You want to make sure you're not charging less than what you should be charging, but you also want to be sure you're not charging too much where it's actually affecting your ability to attract customers and book in jobs. When I get asked how much someone should charge for their detailing services, it's very difficult for me to answer because it really depends on everyone and their particular situation. It's also not something you can answer with 4 or 5 words. Rather, you have to explain the entire idea and concept behind coming up with prices. Now, I will admit and share that there's a ton, and I mean a ton of factors that ultimately influence how you as a detailer charge for your services. But one thing for sure that applies to everyone is that you never want to undercut yourself, undervalue yourself, or charge less for a service just because you're afraid of possibly losing a potential job. Setting prices for your services is a part of your foundation. So once you figured out how to correctly charge and price jobs, everything else pretty much becomes a breeze. So as a beginner, you shouldn't let this stage of the process discourage you to continue on with your detailing journey. Now, like I said, there is a ton of things you have to factor in order to properly set your prices. And just some quick examples would be, the area in which you live in or plan on working at, who your targeted clientele is, and what does the market competition in your area look like. Some other factors can be like, are you insured? What is your desired hourly rate? What are your expenses? How much time do you spend on a detail? You get the idea. You have to understand overall it is a process, a learning as you go process for those beginning who've never done something like this. So don't expect to get it right the first time or even the second time, but know that you will figure it out and master it with time and experience. So this is pretty much everything you need to consider before you get into the actual specific details of a potential job, like the size of a vehicle, the condition, and what services are looking to get done from the customer. A general rule of thumb I like to go by is you want to set a base price to at the very least begin with and work with. For example, let's say $60. This would mean you're not going to step a foot outside if it's not for at least $60. And just for example, let's say for a basic inside and out cleaning for a standard dirty vehicle. From there, you can start raising the price as the type of vehicle and size changes. For example, a normal four-door sedan, you can start at $60 maybe. Then an SUV, you might charge $70, and maybe a larger SUV or even a truck, $80. You guys get the idea. How you figure out that initial number can depend on a lot of things. However, I would recommend in general to base it off on how long it normally takes you to detail a vehicle and how much you would like to earn for your time. A quick example would be, let's say on an average car, it takes you 2 hours to complete, and you are a person who would be super happy making at least, let's say, 30 an hour. So all you would do is take that $30 and multiply it by 2. Now you have $60 to base it off because you will go to the customer location, complete a job in 2 hours, and earn 30 per hour. You have $60 for the detail. If a car normally takes you 3 hours, then you can base it off at $90 because it would take 3 hours and you don't plan on working for anything less than $30. So 30, 30, 30, you have $90 for the detail. Or let's say you are satisfied working and valuing your time at $20 an hour and you actually take around 3 hours to complete a detail on a vehicle, then you'd also base your price at $60. 3 hours at $20, $60 for the detail. It all comes down to playing with the numbers and see what best fits you. So these are just some examples to give you a better understanding of what I'm talking about. Moral of the story though is figure out how much you'd feel comfortable making per hour and multiply that by how long a detailing job takes you. In order to have a base price when a customer reaches out to you, at the very least, they can have an idea of what you are charging and if you are indeed in their price range. Another major factor to consider is the condition of a vehicle. Now that we have a base price $60, you can figure out from the customer how dirty the vehicle may be. Although sometimes the best way to figure this out is through pictures because customers will more than often say it's not that dirty. You want to figure out if it's a standard dirty vehicle or if it's something you don't see often. Maybe the customer has small children, maybe they go off-roading, maybe they went to the beach and there's a lot of sand in the vehicle. So you want to find out about the condition of the vehicle and from there give a realistic price to the customer. You can say, hey, our price for this vehicle starts at $60, but based on the pictures you sent, it looks like it may require just a bit more attention. Therefore, you are looking around $75. Or you could opt to give them a price range. Say, hey, our price for this vehicle starts at $60 if it's in standard dirty condition. However, if there seems to be an excessive amount of cleaning needing to be done, it can go all the way up to $90. So if you're telling me the car is dirty but in normal condition, it could be $60. But if additional work needs to be done, it can jump up to $70, $75, $80, and in the absolute worst case scenario, it would be $90. Is that something you'd be okay with? You as a detailer will decide how to approach customers with either of these choices. Now, the third major factor is figuring out what the customer actually wants done. Do they want an interior cleaning only? Do they want an exterior cleaning only? Or maybe both? What are they trying to achieve? Do they just want to clean their car out and wash it? Or do they want the inside to look like the day they bought the vehicle and their paint to pop and shine? Figure out what exactly they want and charge accordingly from there. So a last example would be, let's say a customer wants to do their vehicle and it happens to be, a 2020 Nissan Altima, which is a four-door sedan, and they sent you pictures and you confirmed it's not in bad condition at all. It just requires, the standard cleaning inside and out, and you have your base price of $60. However, the client also mentioned they want to add a wax in the outside and maybe just the interior plastics. You will then add, $60 and whatever it is you feel comfortable charging for the add-on services. Let's say you charge 25 to dress the interior and 40 to wax. You have 125 total right there. You could break it down for the customer and give them the total at the same time. The reason you want to break it down is because if for whatever reason they think maybe the dressing is too much, they can have the option to say, let's forget about that dressing, I don't really need it right now, and let's do the inside and out cleaning as well as the wax. Basically, they removed the possible add-on but proceeded with the service as opposed to cutting you off completely. And those are my 2 cents on how you can go about pricing your detailing jobs, or at the very least have an idea where to start. I do think it's very important to mention that you have to understand not every customer that comes your way is a customer you will end up working with. There is all kinds of people out there with all different kinds of expectations. You will have people price shopping, people asking for discounts, people wanting a service on the same day, people wanting extra services and not wanting to pay for it. That's why I say you want to figure out who your targeted clientele is, who your targeted audience is, and stick to that audience. And some quick tips from my experience, guys. I hate to say it, but it's the absolute truth. The cheapest customers will always want the best service, not to mention their vehicles are usually the worst. I noticed this when I was detailing for $30 to $40 2-3 years ago. I would get horrible vehicles and customers would want every little nook and cranny, every crack and crevice cleaned up, which from their perspective, I see how it can make sense. They think I can clean my car for free or for $5 at the car wash, but I chose to pay you, the detailer, a premium price of $35, so you better give me the best bang for my money. But guys, you have to understand and remember that you are running a business and the entire purpose of doing so is to make money. Don't be afraid of rejection when someone who is price shopping tells you that your price is too much. Simply, move on for the next client who is willing to pay your price and actually knows how much effort goes into detailing your car. And from there, attract those customers and slowly creep away from the audience that is looking, for the cheapest guy. You get what you pay for, and you as a detailer have to show that when you're detailing vehicles and set yourself apart from everyone else. Do a quality job to the extent that the customer thinks, wow, I got a great deal. Because there are customers out there who are willing to pay the price of your time and your work. They're willing to pay what you are worth, and they pay you like it's nothing, even tip you generously. Some other pieces of advice would be, as times go by, you can always bump up your prices with time. You want to learn from your experience. If you underquote a job, swallow it, see where you went wrong and how you can prevent that mistake from happening again in the future. In an instance when a customer says, hey, I have more than one vehicle, 2+ vehicles, can I get a discount? For me personally, I don't see how it benefits me as a detailer. 2 vehicles will still require the same attention each. At the end of the day, we offer a service and not a product. And I say that because usually when selling a product, the more a client wants in bulk, the more cheaper you can let each go for. And that's not the case in car detailing or really in any service-based industry, but to each their own. Present yourself in a professional manner when speaking on the phone or even texting a potential customer. Even though this is already supposed to happen, guys, a lot of people don't. And if a customer reaches out to say 5 detailers and you're the only one who responded in a professional manner, they more than likely will think you are more professional than them in all aspects, leading them to choosing you as their detailer. There's much more things I could add in this single video, whether it's about pricing or even general recommendations. I've learned so much about detailing in my journey and every possible aspect, I would say. However, I don't want to overwhelm all of you guys with a lot of information, so we'll leave the rest for another video. That's going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and press that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. As always, guys and girls, see you on the next one.